welcome back to another very purposeful video. Why your dating life needs to have some balance in it. So, when I do a consultation for my coaching, I always ask, whether it's guys or girls, are you living a balanced lifestyle? And are you leveraging that balance? Are you leveraging that balance in your dating life, right? Because I'll tell you one thing: when your life is going at least 80% out of 100%, things are kind of in a rolling effect, or they should be, okay? And when I am inquiring with people about if they have a balanced lifestyle, I always ask, are you keeping your body healthy? Are you doing your doctor visits? Are you working out? Are you eating right? How's your family life? How's your relationship with your parents and your siblings? How's your life financially? How are you spiritually? Are you discovering your own kind of belief foundation? Are you becoming a strong individual belief-wise and value-wise? How's your friendship structure looking? Do you have relevant people in your life? How's your career and purpose? A lot of people don't know how to answer these questions because they haven't taken the time to balance them. And it's kind of like when you let life take the wheel, it's like letting the car drive itself. And you don't really freaking know where the car is going to drive once you let those wheels go, unless that car is an AI driven car, which we all know that it'll probably drive itself. But in this context, in this example, it's so important to stay on top of these areas I mentioned, because when you're dating somebody, these questions come up naturally. How's your relationship with your family? Does it look like you're taking care of yourself? If you look sickly on a date and you're trying to present very well, it's gonna shine through. It's important to be authentic, and to be authentic with your partner intimately, or with your potential partner intimately on a date, and be able to have the power to say, I'm living a balanced lifestyle. It could be written. It's written on my face. It's written on my body language. Everything's going good. I don't think that if you have time to, if you have time, for recreational things, if you have time to date, then you should have time to get not just your crap together, but get a balanced lifestyle, and then leverage that in your dating life. And how would you leverage balance? Well, you become a more favorable candidate. When you're going on a date with somebody, you should exemplify the parts of your life that you are happy about. Maybe you really love the fact that you are fit and you're taking care of yourself and everything's good with your health. Maybe you're financially great, and that's a strong point. Always exemplify your strong points, and don't worry about your weak points, okay? So I'll give you an example. All of mine personally are great, maybe except for taking care of my body, and going to doctor's visits and stuff, or my family relationships aren't the best with some and whatever, but in all the other areas I'm great in my spirituality, in my time management, with my friendships. Everything else is good, and with my career and purpose. And so you have to kind of think about, of all the areas, you can just look up the wheel. It's called the Wheel of Life. It has all these different parts that make up your life, dimensions. You can look them up, see what you're best at, and exemplify them when you go out on dates, and just be upfront with people. Be authentic. Be like, listen, like 6, 7 out of these are my strong points. I'm working on this, but this is who I am. This is what I'm going through. And the other person should be able to understand that, yeah, they have weak points too. But as long as you're living a balanced lifestyle, as long as you're making the attempt and the effort and the progress to elevate all those different elements of your life, then that's a very desirable, that just looks very desirable. Like when I used to go out on dates, I would always ask kind of subtle questions that would point to one of these, to make sure that later down the road, when I'm dating this person, that it's not going to pop up. Right. And weak points, yeah, that's very true. Weak points are there to be strengthened, but they're also there to be taken care of, right? And so when you're dating, it's important that when you are dating, that you do bring these things up to maybe find a partner that naturally kind of fills in this hole for you. So, and a good example is if I'm not great at taking care of myself, physically, going to like appointments and stuff, it's nice to have somebody that naturally kind of does really want to take care of themselves to a T, or maybe financially, like they take care of themselves very financially. They know how to, balance a budget and do all these different things. And maybe you don't know how to do that yourself, or maybe you're not the best with spiritual direction and the future, and your partner is, and they can help you with that. It's important to learn from each other's strengths in that way. Yeah, but it's important that you find somebody that can not only complement your, I would say, your strengths or complement your weaknesses, but definitely leverage your balance in the dating world to be able to get to a point where you can talk about this stuff, And this is very important, is, I wouldn't just say when competitively, because you're really just competing against yourself in dating. You're trying to find the best person for you, but at the same time, you're not really versing every other guy out there. You're really just versing yourself to be the right person for the right person, and to become the person that the other person that you want to potentially be with can identify you, right? So, and this is a good example. If you're not leading a balanced lifestyle, then how is the person that you'd want to be with going to identify you, right? Are you going to be the person that you want and have to be for that other person to recognize you? And so it's more or less like an equation. And if you're not the person that you strive to be, how do you expect the other person to find you? Or more or less, how, like, if you're not the person you strive to be, and to always change that for the better, then how do you expect the other person to amount to the same thing? And so you're gonna have two blind people not amounting to who they want to be, cross paths and not find each other. Some pretty crazy stuff. But it's also very true, like Indigo's saying in the chats right now. It's the law of attraction. It's the law of attraction. It's the energy that you find yourself around. And it's very important in that regard to kind of be the best you can, and to find that balance. The easiest, every guy, that I talk to in this kind of field, they say, how do I find the girl of my dreams? By becoming the guy of your dreams, by becoming the guy that you would want to be. Because when you become the person that you want to be, then you become a superpower. And when you become a superpower, people notice. It kind of brings a certain presence to your lifestyle. It brings a presence to you. And this is also exemplified when you have a balanced lifestyle. When everything is taken care of, when you're cleaning the car, that is your life. When you're cleaning the tires, you're changing out different parts of your car, different parts of your life, and you're making it operate at a very efficient level. And you can proudly say that within every element of your life, within every dimension of your life, that you're like operating at 80%, 90%, 100% balanced. Right, 100% balance is very hard to attain. It takes a lot of work, but if you get there, everything is good. Family is great, finances are great, loving life, loving my job, loving like my purpose or passion, loving my friendships, loving my intimate relationships, loving my well-being, my spirituality, the way that I live my life. When all that comes together, you just kind of sit back in your chair. Whether you're a guy or a girl on a date, and you have no worries. When you have everything taken care of, then you can move forward and snowball that energy into this huge, not like leveraged power in dating, but you can just leverage it so much. It's an energy that you give off. There's a happiness to you. There's a confidence. Everything kind of comes everything comes together for you when these things happen. And, you can say that your life in itself is an equation, and all these different variables are known, but it's just a matter of working on these variables to make them, to make the equation that much more solid, right? because once you start kind of letting things go in one aspect of your life and another, you know, then you're not as confident. Then you have worries, then you have stresses, then then you have depressions and anxieties, and you have a different kind of energy. You're not as motivated, you're not as inspired, because you're worrying about different things, and worrying keeps you from doing the things that you want to do in life. So, but I thought this would be a really great topic, because I get it so much in terms of questions that kind of should be circumvented to this bigger question, right? Is, you want to find somebody that really would mean something to you. Be the best version of you and leverage the balance that you create for yourself. Are you ready for a relationship, or are you ready for dating, getting back out there? I don't know. But if you look up the wheel of life and you're not above an 80%, or 8 or 9 different dimensions of your life, right? Divided by the number that you think you are. What I do personally is every day, I do at the end of every night, or I would say a week. After every week, I map my progress. I do a 1 out of 10 for each. Spirituality 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10 for finances, 1 out of 10 for everything, and I add that number divided by the total dimensions, and then I get my average of my balance number. And if you don't believe that your number is an 80 listening to this video, then go back to the drawing board and get on some of those more important tasks in your life. That is not dating. Dating is important because we want to feel wanted, loved, and spend our time with somebody important. But dating and significant others are really an extension of who we are. We should be happy and be balanced without them. They're not completing anything. They're just only adding to our life and our happiness and what we do in it, in our life experience. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share it. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. Hope you got as much content as you can. I hope it was relevant. And join us in the Slack community that I created. Right now it's not that busy, but I'm seeing people slowly get into it. Some more updates I would say is I'm getting my website up and running soon. So that's exciting. A lot of new developments to come, so please stay tuned, and I will see you next time.